Kieselberg, the rag lady. Who's virgin to Norwex? Never used it, never had it, never heard of it, maybe?
Never
All right, almost everybody, okay. How about love to clean?
Oh.
Yeah. You do?
I actually love to clean.
I feel like maybe you should get like an extra
You're
line.
crazy.
I love it. Really?
Oh, she's so.
You're the only
I
one.
kick my boyfriend out of the house because he brings me down.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, so who likes things to be clean but hates to clean?
Yes.
That's
Yeah, there we go.
self-confessed germaphobes?
Yes.
Okay, alright, okay.
I don't run yours, but.
And my husband does, so.
Yeah, that's right. Who's one thing and your husband is the opposite? Who has kids? Oh my god. Okay, so Norwex is for you if you raise your hand for any of those reasons, which is great because there's very few household items that hit all of the bases. If you don't have time to clean, would you like things to be clean? Norwex is for you. So I'm going to tell you about Norwex and myself in a little bit, but I want to get to know each of you a little bit before we get started. So I'm going to start in the most comfy chair, right? Okay, so she gets to start. And yeah. Share with us your name, how you know Lena, and my favorite thing is your favorite thing about Lena.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best. It's really fun. Just the first thing that pops into your mind.
Okay. I'm Rita Vance, and I know Lena from the Gold Mine, not only as a customer, but then also as a volunteer a few times. What I know and love about Lena is just her personality and her charitable spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I am Rita's daughter. So admittedly, I know Lena mostly through my mom. I love all the good things I've heard about her. And I also know her recently independently because I just joined the Carefree Cave Creek Chamber of Commerce. And it was so great to see a friendly face. And I also am a lover of the gold mine. And I love that you're so involved in the community. And you just seem like a fun and positive person. And I look forward to getting to know you better.
That's awesome.
What business do you have in the chamber?
I'm with a small marketing agency called Lucorp Marketing.
She's your competition.
Oh, no. Partners. No, great, because I think I did hear her. What's the name of that company again?
Lucorp Marketing.
Okay.
Yes.
I got her card last month.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
We
just
just
last
joined
month.
in like
Last month.
February.
Good.
It's probably like February, so I've only been to 3 or 4
Smart
events.
business move, just saying.
I'm the delegate to go, so I'm the only one there.
Okay, good. Now we've
Yeah.
got another face to hunt out at mixers. And
Exactly.
Okay.
He sent me out.
I know. Don't worry.
Brian.
We
No,
talked
it was-
about her at Ambassadors.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's like,
I got it this time.
So, hello. I'm Ashley. I know Lena from just being in the community and all the events and things because I've only been in the Cape Creek area for a year. And my favorite thing about you, Lena, is you are very welcoming. I always felt very involved and included anytime I went to these events because you're always one to make sure that everyone is spoken to. So I'm very thankful for that.
I'm Judy Anderson. I work at Tech for Life. 2 years today.
Yay!
It's a techniversary.
And I love Lena. Ever since I met you, you just are absolutely warm and welcoming, and you have just this free spirit about you. It's just beautiful and very community oriented. So that's wonderful. And what?
Just inside joke.
And I first met Lena, I guess, through the office. Yeah. So.
I'm Rachel, and yeah, I know Lena through the office too. Of course, we all work at Tech for Life, as you can tell. Her chamber, I don't know how we actually met, but maybe through Jen. But yeah, Lena, it's same, you know, she's just such a dear, sweet soul, and yeah, such a wonderful personality. And right now, I'm really loving the hair. I like the pink. I think it looks so cute.
Me
Yes.
too.
I'm with Erin.
Oh, Brianna.
Yeah.
So Brianna, yeah, she's my assistant.
I'm
so she-
Brianna.
Yes, she's Brianna.
You snuck up behind me, Brianna.
First time today.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She's like, I don't know who you
Yeah.
Lena girl, we can
I'm Stacy. What was was I supposed to ask? Other than Lena?
How you know
Oh,
Lena?
how you know Lena through
And
the
then you
gold
get to
mine.
like just gush on her.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's not to gush, it's everything everybody said. Like,
Mhm.
she's so authentic and genuine, and it's she's one of those people where you absolutely just, she is who she is. And there's no fake, there's no, she just knows everybody and everything, and
Sweet.
she's a popular girl, and I want to be one of the cool kids.
With the cool kids.
And I'm Donna, and I used to live right across the street, so I had the pleasure of meeting Lena when they were building this house, and for 10 years, we were neighbors and friends. And she's still a friend, and it was wonderful having her and Jim right across the street.
Sweet.
Couldn't have had better neighbors. And then you moved away.
Yeah, and I think tell us why. Was it Tim and Lena? I mean,
Well, no, definitely not.
oh, fun. Well, I'm Jen, and yes, I'm one of the red shirt girls. So Lena, she and I,
She just got nervous.
she's my girl.
I know. What's she gonna say?
My husband would say that. She's your girl. But no, I met Lena actually was through the chamber. But and the gold mine. And she hired me when I was in transition, which is where I met Stacy.
Yeah,
we all kind
we
of
worked opposite shifts. It was
Yeah, I actually
Oh.
worked at the gold mine. Let me tell you, I probably spent more than me. Just being there was awesome.
Will work for
But
stuff.
no, Lena definitely, if you need something, need her to do anything, to be there, whatever, that's your girl.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, Lena will go above and beyond, that's for sure.
So I have to share something really hilarious with you guys. I was visiting with my best friend. We've been friends since kindergarten.
Oh.
And she called me today because in Colorado they were having a snow day.
Mhm.
And I said, you know what? I said, last night at the chamber, this lady said that I was just a really nice lady and that of course my business is putting a strain on me because I'm so good to people. And my girlfriend goes, oh, well that's obviously something you don't hear of every day.
She knows the real one.
That's right, don't get out of
Well, we didn't want to get into depth, you know, I think he was being fluffy, so by the time it came to me, I really couldn't say too much. That's awesome, that's great.
Well, that's cool. I met Lena at Jen's party. We had a Norwex party at Jen's house 2 years ago now. We're thinking about 2 years ago. And yeah, it's been a while. And I was telling Brianna on the way over here, she's like, so what's a Norwex party like? She's used and loved Norwex, but she's never been to one of my parties, and she recently started working with me. And so I told her, a lot of hostesses, I don't know, it's always different. Sometimes I have to work the crowd and like do stuff, but I'm not worried about that tonight because Lena is she just has this energy, this positive energy that she puts out, and you meet her and you instantly love her. It's like love at first sight with her. So I think she's a rare gem in the world, so.
Good energy.
Okay, so Norwex. When I had my first daughter, she's almost 12. A friend of mine started challenging me in what we were eating and kind of to be more healthy and that sort of thing. And I don't like to change and do things that are more work if I don't have to, unless I have to have the facts. So I started researching and learned a lot about our food system that was really alarming to me. And so I started changing the way we eat, and I thought, well, if chemicals are bad in our food, then they probably can't be good in what we clean with. So I became actually a Melaleuca user. I used Melaleuca for several years. I made my own concoctions, vinegar and baking soda, whatever, which is kind of messy and really stinky. I don't like vinegar unless, like you're eating it or whatever. Salad dressing, I like it on salad, but I don't want my bathroom to smell like it. And so a girlfriend of mine invited me to a Norwex party. I don't do direct sales parties. I'm usually the no girl. But I came because I wanted to be a good friend and because I was on this journey. And you clean your house with just the cloth and water, and so I thought, well, that sounds like okay. So I went to the party, bought a few items, and then I was in California at the time. When I moved to Arizona, nobody here knew about it, and my best friend started selling it up in Wisconsin. And so I thought, well, I know some people, I think everybody who has young kids should have Norwex. I mean, that was just where I was at in that phase of life. And so I joined, and just to help her, I thought, she has special needs kids and I wanted to help her grow her business. And so I introduced it to a few people here, but they loved it like I thought they would, but when they actually did, you're like, I'm really onto something here. And I feel like this is something people need to know about. It's helpful to everybody. We all raised our hand for the category that we fell into. And so I started to actually really be intentional about sharing it with people. That was 5 years ago, and I now have a team of 2,000 people all over the country, but there's a lot of us here in Arizona, and it's what is my full-time job. So I never intended for it to be that way, but a couple of years ago, my husband had an affair and left, and I was a single mom of 3 kids, and I'm so grateful that I had the income from building this business to support me. And then about 2 years ago, right after your party, actually got remarried, and so now I have 7 kids, and thank God for Norwex, and I too have a house cleaner. That's the question I forgot to ask. If somebody else cleans your house, you still need Norwex, because unless it's like Downton Abbey style where they're like cleaning up after dinner or something, you still clean your own face and you pick up after yourself and whatever, and so Norwex is super helpful. So I'm going to show it to you a little bit before I tell you about it, because I think that this is powerful. This is vinegar, because this is what I used before. If you use chemicals, that's okay, but you might not want to after today. When you spray, this is chapstick, and you're not supposed to spread chapstick before, but it's just to show, greasy fingerprints, or if your dog puts its nose on your windows or whatever, it's usually the hardest thing to get off. So you spray vinegar. If you're spraying a chemical, like either on your windows or in your bathroom, you're inhaling and ingesting, because you're breathing through your mouth, and then on your skin, anything that comes in contact with your skin, actually in 26 seconds is in your bloodstream. And so there's several different ways that those chemicals are actually going inside your body, not just on the surface that you're spraying. So, and then paper towels. We probably all use paper towels or some dirty old rag or something, and you kind of fight and struggle, and there's still a residue, not just of whatever, but of, the chemicals, okay? Norwex, this is a microfiber cloth. This one's just damp with water, so this is gonna replace all of your cleaners. From your carpets to your kitchen cleaners, bathroom cleaners, windows, mirrors, everything. It's just this cloth. And then this is gonna replace your paper towels. So Norwex actually saves you a ton of money, especially year after year, because you're not having to repurchase all of the consumables. That's one of the benefits. It works better, it saves you time, it saves you money. So I'm just gonna clean the butter on that side. And then you go right behind it. Remember Mr. Miyagi in Karate Kid? Wax on, wax off. So that's what you're gonna do. And then I'll get all the residue off too. And I can actually go to a different surface, and it's not going to cross-contaminate. So all of that butter and whatever is on the surface, it removes 99.9% of contaminants on the surface, takes it into the core of the cloth, and it traps it there. When you're done cleaning, you'll just rinse your cloth out with hot water, wring it out, and hang it to dry, and the cloth actually cleans itself.
Amazing, right? I'm telling you, we replaced our doors in our house, and I go, I am cool with all windows, because I can keep them clean now in 2 seconds. Inside, outside, do all my doors that way, and
super fast.
Awesome.
Even like in Arizona, when it gets really hot, really dry in the summer, it's almost impossible to get clean windows, because whatever you spray on dries instantly, but not with Norwex. So you'll just do small sections, Mr. Miyagi style, and it's streak free and super fast, super easy. So, and if you ever get streaks, here's a little trick. So I just kind of transfer a little bit. This is the wet one, this is the dry one, especially in the summertime. I'll just squeeze them together a little bit before, because if this one is too dry when we have like no moisture in our air, sometimes that's the only time it'll kind of give you a trouble. But I call this one the bird killer, because I literally have people all the time tell me, oh my gosh, I cleaned my windows and my dog ran into my sliding glass door, birds flying into my window, I've had people walk into them, so like, be careful. But so microfiber is gaining in popularity. Our company started in Norway, in Europe, 25 years ago. We're now, I think, in like 16 countries or something. It's growing like crazy, but we've only been in the US since 2011. So that's why you haven't heard of it, is that it's fairly new. And we choose this model to educate on the harm of chemicals really. And then if you were to just see this sitting on a shelf, you wouldn't really know what it is or how to use it, because there are a few particular things. And so the education piece of being a Norwex user is pretty important. So our microfiber, however, is very different than what you'll see on the store shelves in Costco or Home Depot. To qualify as microfiber, it has to be 1/6 of a human hair. The thread that they're made out of is 1/6 of a human hair. Our microfiber is 1/200th of a human hair. So it's significantly finer, and what that does is gives you surface area within the cloth, and that's what removes everything from the surface. So we're talking any germs that are on the surface, it's actually picked up by the cloth. So if you were to unravel this, it would go from the Canadian border to the Gulf of Mexico. That thread would travel that long. That's how much millions of feet are inside the cloth. So the other thing that's unique about it is that it has silver in it, microsilver. And is anybody familiar with colloidal silver? Mm-hmm. It's a natural antimicrobial, silver itself, pure silver. And so I take it internally instead of antibiotics or to fight off coughs or whatever. So microsilver is in the cloth, and that's what makes the cloth clean itself. So I'm going to give you a little analogy. If you think about weeds, happy spring, it's like wonderful and terrible because of all the weeds that we get. But there's 3 ways to clean, but I'm going to use the analogy, remove the weeds. You can chemically remove them by spraying, toxic chemicals or whatever, which goes into the groundwater. That'll kill it off and it'll still be there. You can thermally kill them, so as it gets hotter, you don't do anything about your weeds, they'll eventually die off, dry off, and then blow away, hopefully, when monsoons come. Mm-hmm. Or you can mechanically clean. You can pull up the weed by its root. Mm-hmm. So if you think of in terms of cleaning, you can steam clean things. A lot of us have steamer mops or whatever. That's what I used before Norwex. You can chemically clean, which is the traditional either green cleaners or your chemical cleaners, which are a lot more toxic and harmful. Norwex is the mechanical clean way. So if you think about, if I were to give you a glass of water that had some sort of germs in it, would you want it to be thermally cleaned? I'll throw it in the microwave and then you can drink it. The dead bodies essentially are still in there, right? Or I could add something to it, colloidal silver, let's say, still whatever dead bodies from the germs are in it. Or would you like it to be mechanically cleaned where the water is actually completely filtered and there's nothing left? That's what Norwex is. So for me, it's the best way to clean. It has completely changed my life in terms of saving time, saving money, being a busy mom, not having time to clean, but the impact on our health is huge too. One of my daughters is autistic, and her body can't process toxins, and she doesn't detox like we do normally, so I have to be super careful about what is around her and what she takes in and stuff. So it's, on a personal level, very important for me.
What's the difference between the gray and the purple?
So they are the same microfiber, so the same 1/200th of a human hair. They're woven differently. So this one is going to be your heavy duty cleaner that replaces all your cleaners. And this one is going to be for your streak-free shine. So this one you use dry for windows, mirrors,
When you touch them too.
Yeah, I'll pass I'll pass this one around, and then I'll pass this one around after if you guys are willing to touch it. Okay.
If you're willing to.
So butter is one thing, but we want to really know that it's clean, right? So I brought a little chunk of raw chicken.
Oh no,
That's too
yes, I know it's coming.
I feel bad about chicken too.
It doesn't feel like at all like I thought.
That's salmonella in a
Yeah,
place.
no,
right.
but it's much thicker. in
Okay,
it,
but
like
what we're going to
more
test
ridges
for
and
is
everything.
protein. So these are food grade protein test swabbers. This is what the health department uses when they go into a restaurant to test for cleanliness. And the reason why they use protein is because bacteria has to be cultured for 24 hours. So since Lena didn't invite us all to spend the night, we're going to test for protein because protein is the most difficult substance to remove from a surface. So if there's no presence of protein, then you can be assured that there's no presence of anything else. So this is going to process here in a second, and it will turn purple is dirty, green is clean. Could you hold that for me, please? Sure.
Do you want to?
So here's the coolest thing. You saw me take the cloth and clean with the butter on it. I moved to the top of the window and it didn't cross-contaminate. But I'm going to show you that with the chicken goo. Okay, so here's one plate. I'm showing you with the tag because it's not a magic show, okay? It's like the real deal. And then I'm going to clean a So think about like if you're in the kitchen and you're cleaning your island, you clean one spot of your island, you can clean another spot of your island. And then I'm gonna swab all three. So that's the original plate. This is the second plate to show you that there's no cross-contamination. And then I'm gonna even show you the surface of the cloth. We call it back lock or bacterial lock because that quickly, anything that was picked up from the surface drops down into the core of the cloth and is trapped there. And then if there were any contaminants on it, then as you're gonna rinse it off and as the cloth dries, that's when it self-purifies. So silver works like bacterial birth control and it doesn't allow bacteria to reproduce. So the mildew, stinky kitchen cloth, like it's okay, we all had it at one point. But Norwex, you can kiss that goodbye because what that is actually bacteria that's reproducing, I think by the millions overnight, and that's what you get that funky smell. So it's, I used to bleach them and microwave them and boil them and nothing would work and then you have to throw them all away and start over again. And with Norwex, you don't have to do any of that because it's constantly cleaning itself. And eventually you do launder them, which we'll talk about in a minute. So purple is dirty, green is clean. And I think I've waited long enough so that you can make sure. And I'll just for kicks and giggles, touch it right to the chicken so that you know the swabbers are the same. And it will instantly turn purple. So,
Chicks and giggles.
just in case that's not convincing enough.
Oh, don't do it, Erin. No.
I know.
I hate that part.
Some like it once. One part I was
Oh, yeah.
she made it like and I'm like, what a mean mother. Oh my God. It's totally fine.
You want to know a funny story? A couple years ago, I went to, what's it called, Wet n Wild or Water World? Wet n Wild. And I got a parasite there. It was Cryptosporidium or whatever. It was like a county-wide thing. Y'all, I thought I was gonna die. I have never been so sick in my whole life. And to the point where like I had to start asking people to take my kids because I couldn't even take care of them. And so one of my Norwex customers was like, "Did the chicken finally get you?" No, Norwex still works. With something else.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so if anybody wants to touch this one, the other thing that you can just tell by touching it, here I'll fold it this way, if you're all freaked out. Sometimes microfiber will stick to your hands, like
Yeah, I hate
cheaper
that.
microfiber, and it gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Yes.
Ours does not do that because
That
it's
was
such a
my one
high
concern.
quality. Yeah. So that's how you can tell it's
Yeah,
1/200th of a
the
human
Yes,
hair.
yes, you have dry
Yes.
skin. I hate that feel. That's what I was afraid of. I'm like, I'm not gonna like this
Yeah.
because it's gonna feel like that.
No, it's not that way.
No, it doesn't. Wow.
The only thing is that if you're cleaning a lot, like if you do heavy duty cleaning, because I tell you when you get your cloths, I challenge you, put away all your other whatever you're using now, chemicals, green cleaners, and put the cloth to the test. Because the more you use it, the more you will love it. You'll try it on that spot that you've tried everything on, nothing comes off, and most of the time just the cloth and water. We do have a couple extra heavy duty products if you need them. But if you're cleaning a lot, remember what it did? The window?
That's okay, I have like 400 in it.
But it will take the grease off of your hands, so make sure that you're like applying lotion or something before and then after, because it can dry out your hands if you're using them quite a bit. Especially this heavy duty cleaner.
Wow.
Okay, everybody tracking with me so far?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Right?
So how often do you have to wash that gray cloth, or how do you
Yeah.
clean it?
About every 2 weeks, and I'll talk about that.
Okay.
Well, I'll jump to that real quick.
God, you should have been at Jen's party. When they heard every 2 weeks, we're like, what? We don't have to wash our towels for like 2 weeks?
And
And
bath
guess what? You don't have to do laundry this week. It's next week.
and bath towels I only wash once every 3 weeks because you're cleaning when you get out of the shower. but
Yeah,
once every 3
Seriously,
weeks.
I'm not kidding you. I don't wash my towels, and my husband will
These towels, their towels?
The
Yeah,
bath towels.
after I left Jen's
Oh, I thought
party,
like regular
I
towels.
called
I was
Jen
like,
and I
oh my
wanted
God, way too long.
No, our bath towels, our bath
towels.
towels. Our bath towels. I only wash them, once every 3 weeks or whenever, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
And they just absorb and they don't.
Yeah.
My dog
kids, y'all. 3 weeks. We do not do laundry. No, you're not allowed to.
There you go.
Okay, so there's a couple do's and don'ts with the cloth.
Never use the towels.
You don't use the cloths with anything but water. So can I use essential oils or vinegar or whatever? You don't need to. Like just the cloth and water works. You don't really want to add anything else to the cloth that could compromise the integrity of the silver, because that is what is cleaning the cloth. If you ever accidentally do something, you can deep soak them. Once is not going to ruin it, but make sure everybody in the house knows only water. It really does work, okay? The other thing is you're going to throw them in the laundry. You'll wash your Norwex all together, or wash them with like maybe sheets or something that's lint-free. Don't throw them in there with like regular bath towels, because you won't get that beautiful streak-free shine if you wash that purple cloth with lint laundry, okay? And then hot water and a free and clear detergent.
Hey, she's answering your question,
Oh,
woman.
oh, sorry.
I'm so sorry.
She's so excited. Yeah, she's so excited. She's just beside herself.
I'm so sorry, Erin.
No problem.
Not usually quite
Okay,
so rude.
so free and clear detergent. I highly recommend you use our detergent, because even free and clear detergents on the market, like 70% of them have a lot of ingredients that you really don't want going into the cloth. Our microfiber will hold 8 times its weight of anything that you're cleaning, and so it's meant to grab and hold on to things. Most laundry detergents on the market have fillers, which are toxic, but also they are what make your clothes crunchy, your bath towels crunchy, because it actually builds up. It builds up in your appliances. And if you do that with the microfiber, you're going to kind of clog them up. So the cool thing about our detergent, we have a liquid version and a powdered version. But who has HE machines? Like a high efficiency? Almost everybody nowadays. 1 teaspoon. That's all you need is 1 teaspoon. That's because it doesn't have any fillers, no dyes, no fragrances, and so that is something that you have to get used to, is that clean has no smell. If it smells funky, obviously it's clean. Not clean, but if it smells perfumey, it's also not clean. It's probably toxic.
So can I
Yeah.
when I went to Jen's party, I told Jen I wasn't gonna buy anything, and I was like so skeptical. I actually bought more after the party. I called her like the next week and I ordered a bunch. But I had told Erin, and Donna knows this, I had a dog who was severely allergic to everything. And so if you washed your clothes in like Gain and Tegan came up to you, she would break out in hives. So I said to Erin, I said, well, I will not hesitate to write a bad review about this if my dog breaks out. And she said, go ahead. And I came home, I washed, stuff, like Tegan's bedding and stuff, and I was all in.
It's the real deal.
So Erin, can you put that powder in the dispenser in a HE machine? Or do you
So
have to throw it
usually
in?
the dispenser will have either a little lever that says for powder or for liquid, or it has a tray and it'll say remove for powder. And so, yeah, those are usually the 2 types. So, and if you're a rule follower, this is going to really rock your world, because it doesn't say 1 teaspoon on the back of the bag, but you have to trust me on it. You don't want to overuse it. First of all, you're wasting it, but it's the hardest thing to remember. Chances are somebody else here is going to have a party, and then you go to that party and you're like, oh, she totally said that, but I forgot. Like it's such a paradigm shift. But I'll help keep in touch with you after you purchase. So this is the scoop that comes in the bag. If you have an HE machine, then I recommend either getting rid of this, and like this is just an old kitchen teaspoon that I had so that we don't overuse it, or just draw a line with a Sharpie marker like around your scoop, because it's like 1/6 of the scoop or something. It's a really tiny amount, okay? So hot water in your washer, it lasts forever. This one bag is 200 loads. And you can use it for all of your clothes, and it's actually really good for all of your clothes. It's good for your washer because it's not building up fillers in there. And then no like fabric softener, like liquid fabric softener or dryer sheets or bleach. So fabric softener actually covers the fibers of the material with like a waxy kind of chemical, and that's what makes it smell like Mountain Fresh or whatever for 2 weeks after you washed it. But that will actually block the silver if you use that with Norwex. So that is the one way that you can kind of ruin your cloths, is by using those. I do like our set of dryer balls. So these are what you would use in your dryer in lieu of dryer sheets, which Lena and I were talking about before. They don't biodegrade, like they stay for current puppy. Yeah,
2 years.
Yeah, but those dryer sheets are pretty toxic, and this is one. I try to keep it fun and light, but I'm really passionate about this because Dryer sheets actually have warning labels on them. Most people don't know, but they're highly carcinogenic. So they have more carcinogens or cancer causers than cigarettes do. They're pretty toxic.
And see, skip ahead, because that's what I told Erin. Now the Purtinator eats our walls, our cabinets, and when she had her operation, what did they remove? A dryer sheet.
Oh,
And that
stomach.
it wasn't degrading inside her,
Well,
and
of
then
course
that
not.
said these are not biodegradable. So, so it was poisoning her. I mean,
Well,
that's what
yeah,
she
plus
there. And,
permeated with awful poisons,
Yeah.
toxins in them, yeah.
Yeah.
Juice in them years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get a set of dryer walls. They'll last you for years. And again, the more products that you convert to Norwex, they're sustainable. They're not consumable. And so we do that on purpose. It's almost like working ourselves out of a job almost because, you don't have to buy them really. Again, the cloths themselves have a 2-year warranty. We don't really realize it when we go to Target, which I call the $100 store, because you can never get out of there without spending $100. So I love that I rarely have to even go there anymore because all of my stuff, like I just don't have a list. But we spend an average of $400 to $600 a year on cleaning products between paper towels, bathroom cleaners, window cleaners, all that stuff. So Norwex in your first 2 years of using it, which is what the warranty is, saves you about $800 to $1,200. It's pretty remarkable.
How many balls do you put in the dryer load? All 3?
Yeah, use all
Okay.
3. I actually have
Nice.
2 sets, so I have
and stuff,
4 in my dryer at
Yeah.
all times because
Okay.
always they get stuck in a
Yeah.
sleeve
Yeah,
or
they
a
do.
can.
They do.
One of the
You have
7
to
children
search for
has them in their room, whatever. And so I do 2 sets to give ourselves at least 4. So, okay, I think it's time for a giveaway. Lift the moods, grab your lottery tickets.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna give away a sample of our detergent because this is one of my favorite products. I did these a long time ago, but I believe this is 30 loads right here, and this is about the size. I used to buy a Costco one, and it was 1
Yeah.
cup of liquid detergent. And you'll notice Norwex saves you a lot of space too in your laundry room and under your cabinets. You can get rid of all of that stuff. You don't have to lug it around from room to room.
Is that what you gave me a sample of? Okay, I wasn't sure if
this
it
is
was
the
that.
stuff.
Okay.
Okay, these are all stuck to the bottom of this.
We had our own raffle at work. I gave it
Yes.
to Rachel.
I won. But I can
Okay.
win again.
8910442.
Oh, that's me. Okay, 10442.
There's your refill.
So what would be the principal difference, Erin, between this detergent and Melaleuca detergent that I've been using?
How much do you use with Melaleuca? Like, what's a load size?
It's pretty tiny.
It's small.
Is it? Okay, so that one might be
They
a good
don't have
one.
fillers either.
Yeah.
But
But
there is a
dilute it like,
fragrance.
1 to 12 ratio or 12 to 1
yeah, it's
ratio or
pretty
whatever it
tiny.
is. And then I just pour the liquid in my laundry.
Washer does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one might be a good one. I'm not really sure.
I don't. So I use Melaleuca for my clothes sometimes, and Josh likes to smell stuff. But my Norwex stuff, I will never use Melaleuca on it. I only use my Norwex stuff to wash it. So I'll do a Norwex load where all my rags and the mop and everything and my towels will go in there, and I only use their stuff in there.
Yeah.
But sometimes the clothes will.
That
I'll
makes
use the.
If it has a fragrance, I would stay away from it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It
it's
does
essential
have a
oil
fragrance.
based,
'Cause
but
that's
if it's
more
staying in the
stuff in it.
clothes,
Yeah, that you
yeah,
don't
then
need.
it's gonna be in there.
Okay.
Well,
And if
that's
you
what-
like your clothes, oh, you're gonna tell me about essential oils.
Oh, yeah, and so that's, because Tim sometimes likes, he doesn't like perfume, but he likes a scent. So I put my drops of essential oils on my wool balls. And then that's what scents them
Yeah.
versus like
Yeah.
the perfume.
And some
Balm
people
and
miss the
something.
smell of, we were always trained that clean smells like bleach or smells like
Yeah,
Pine
yeah,
Sol or smells like whatever your mom used or whatever. And so that is a mental shift for people. I saw you have a bunch of essential oils in your kitchen, but you can either get a diffuser and diffuse essential oils. Pine Sol is like pine citrus, and you can make your own blends and whatever. Or put a little, they're highly concentrated, so just a few drops in a spray bottle, and then you can spray like your upholstery or something, and that will make your room smell clean if you miss that, like, fragrance
Okay.
or whatever.
But
Does the
Norwex,
load change
pure
for
white.
each of you say a teaspoon, but what if it's like 3 dog beds all thrown into the washer? Is that still just a teaspoon?
Oh, who puts 3 dog beds in?
Blankets, not a bed.
Well, so
my
a
God.
teaspoon is a large load, and if you have a water softener, it's half of that, just like you have everything else, because the water softener you can use less. If it's more than a large load, you could do like a teaspoon and a half. And if it's a smaller load, medium to small, then only do half a teaspoon as well.
Yeah, I still just barely use anything.
Yeah, it lasts forever. Okay, 2 more things. Well, 3 maybe. Okay. Cleaning paste. Do you have this? Yeah. Okay. So 90% of the time, like I said, the cloth and water is going to work by itself. Every once in a while, you need a little extra zhuzh. This is cleaning paste.
What was that word?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Take that note
JSUU. So it's paste, but it's one big hunk of chalk. Don't let your 2-year-old help you clean the car because it does shatter when it's dropped. I learned that. But this tub should last 18 months to 2 years. It lasts forever because just a little tiny bit goes a really long way. So with your EnviroCloth, which is wet, just do a little swirly like that. Any of you have kids or grandkids that are Picasso, Sharpie marker on something. Norwex saves lives of children, many a children. Hard water spots, cleaning tennis shoes, all kinds of stuff. It just comes right off, barely without breaking a sweat. If you have like a stainless steel or porcelain kitchen sink that gets really gross and marked up, this stuff is magical.
Wow.
It's made out of marble flour, coconut oil, and the coconut oil really helps kind of like shine it or protect it, and so water kind of beads off, and so it kind of has like a long-lasting effect on your cleaning. But millions and millions of uses. I have these cards that I'll give you when you check out because it's very, very versatile.
Use it on my stove the most.
Oh, glass top. Yes.
Glass
stove.
Because that's the worst. I mean, the kitchen stuff is awesome, but man, if you spill and it cooks.
Well, you gotta polish them
that
every
stuff-
once in a while.
Yeah, it's great. No,
Yep.
That's what I use it. And then in your hard water spots, if you live in Cape Creek,
Yes, for
Care,
sure.
Carefree is too
Yeah.
horrible.
Oh, it's Arizona, I think.
All right, so the next 2 products I'm going to show you,
I
this
have
is
one of
our
those,
dust mitt. It's a high pile microfiber, same material
love
as
that.
the cloths, but just woven again for its intended purpose to grab onto dust and hold on to it. I feel like your cleaner was here recently, but
Just go
they
around
were.
and get
Yeah, it's supposed to clean.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to the top of the refrigerator. I'll be
say,
right
I
back.
have a dirty chandelier at home.
Oh wait, does your fridge have a top or it doesn't? Because it's like that.
Yeah, I think it's built in.
Yeah.
You think?
Hey,
I'm not really sure on my refrigerator.
over the bar, could you clean the glass in there?
Yeah.
And clean the glasses like that.
You're gonna have to take my word for it because I licked chicken. Okay. Okay, so the dust mitt and the dry pad of the mop are made out of the same material. The mop has 2 separate pads. One dry that replaces sweeping or vacuuming, and the other one is blue, which you'll get wet, just like the EnviroCloth. It's like the EnviroCloth for the floor, so you get it wet, wring it out like this, get all the excess water out. The thing about the microfiber is almost the more dry it is, it has to be fully saturated, but then completely wrung out, and that's when it's going to do its best cleaning. So if it's too wet, then it's not going to clean as well, particularly on floors. If you ever get streaks with our mop, it's because your pad is a little bit too wet. So there's a great kid size and a husband size, and if you try really hard, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, get it right about to your chin. If you have back problems or have had any shoulder issues or whatever, this thing is magical. Did they clean your floor as well?
They better.
We're going to see
Well,
what
they
we
better
can-
have. They took the check.
Okay, feet up real quick.
Yes.
We're
Oh,
gonna
Yay! Do it, girl.
Nice.
We all love you, remember? We told you how much we love you. Okay.
Look at that, no dirt.
But do you see all the hair that's hanging off of there?
Oh, yeah.
So this thing is magnetic to dog hair. If you're like me and shed like a dog, all of the hair it sticks to, and then you'll just take it over to the garbage can. This is our rubber brush, and you just clean it like that right off into the garbage can. And again, you can use it multiple times before you ever have to launder it. Were you going to say something?
Well, I was gonna say, and think about this when, so, again, I left, like, not buying anything, and then I bought, like, the whole mop set and everything, but this at the gold mine was amazing.
The mop is,
Yeah.
seriously, if there's not anything besides the 2 cloths, The mop changed my life. We have 3 dogs that shed like mothers. And I live in the desert where the front yard and the backyard is dust. But that thing has made it to where I know my tile's clean. I fell down because it slid. But yeah, it's crazy. And actually, one little trick that I learned with the yellow one is when I do that and I have dog fur, you know, is I flop it over and I actually take the vacuum. And I just vacuum over it, and that's it. 2 seconds, and it's done. So, I mean, I still use that sometimes, but sometimes I just give it a vacuum, and I'm like, super clean. You know,
yeah,
it's
so
super
cool.
fast.
Swiffer.
Oh my gosh,
It
yeah.
cleans way better than Swiffer.
Is it one that is
The
also
mop.
that you get wet for mopping?
Yeah, this one. So
Okay.
both of them
Yeah.
come in the set. So you do the yellow one first, and then you
Right.
just pop off the pad. It's Velcro, and then stick on this one. And again, Swiffer is consumable. You're constantly buying those pads. These will last for at least 2 years.
No
I was just thinking, these are probably like close to 4 or 5 years old. I was almost embarrassed to bring them because they're so dirty at this point, but they still work. So I'm like, I guess I don't have to replace them, but they just look nasty.
One of my
They
things
still
too
do
with
their job.
the blue one too, so if I do my area or whatever and you pull it out, I mean you can honestly see how disgusting your floors are. So you rip it off and I put it in my sink, but I use the spray nozzle on my thing and you just watch the dirt go off it and it's totally clean again. And then you just do that and you can see how dirty it is, you rinse it off and you go do another area until you no longer have the dirt, you know you're clean. I mean your floors are really clean. Yeah. It's amazing. It really is amazing.
So, I'm gonna do a couple giveaways. Okay, one question does anybody else have questions real quick before I get to my normal? No? Okay. So one question I normally get is, like, if this is the only cloth that I need for my house, can I clean, like, my toilet and my bathroom, and then what am I gonna use on my countertops? Well, you can use the same cloth. I have done that, but for convenience sake, you'll probably want one in every bathroom. If you have a 2-story house, one on each level. And then we do have a couple of kitchen cloths, because most people like to have a cloth right next to their sink that does not get stinky and mildewy. So we do have a couple of those. But the 5 products that I showed you, so the 2 cloths, and the cleaning paste, the mitt, and the laundry detergent all come in a package for $99.99. So if you're an easy button girl, it's like the best starter kit to start Norwex because it's going to give you everything you need to clean your house and clean your microfiber, and it'll last you years. The detergent probably 3 to 4 months for most of us. So one of my favorite cloths is this dishcloth. Yeah, because you don't. So my husband asked me to buy that today. He's like, make sure you give me some more of that blue knitting. It's like crazy magical. So I use the cloths. So we have 2 different kinds, but these are the ones that you're gonna get wet. It's the EnviroCloth for the kitchen, and you're gonna clean your kitchen table, all your countertops, all the surfaces. But you really don't want to clean your dishes with this, even though you saw you can. But remember, it holds 8 times its weight of whatever. So if you're loading this thing up with food, it's gonna stink a lot faster. If you're just using water, you'll get probably a full week out of it before you need to launder it. The EnviroCloths, because you're probably not cleaning multiple times a day like you are in the kitchen, are gonna last like 2 to 3 weeks without needing to be laundered, because you usually just wipe down your bathroom a couple of times a week, just when it gets spotty or whatever. But there is no more deep cleaning with Norwex. I call it Norwexing because you don't have to spend your whole Saturday morning cleaning anymore. It's so easy that you just grab it while you're brushing your teeth, wipe off your sink, and it's spotless like that. It's magical. So this is our dishcloth. I actually cut them in half because they're so large and you don't need more than that. And although it looks super flimsy, it scrubs the heck out of everything. Rinse it off, dries instantly. It doesn't have the silver in it, so you can use it with food. Still not gonna get stinky. It's like the best invention ever. So I always give it away for free because it seems too good to be true. But then if I give it away, use it and then come to the next party saying how awesome it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So 891-0441.
Ooh, that's
Congratulations.
Yes.
My
husband's jealous right now.
Correct. Yes. Exactly.
I think we did. I think we cut ours in 4s because he did
Probably once a week.
Yeah,
Yeah, same as your kitchen.
And then it
Yeah.
scrapes off the stuff and
I
dries.
use it on my craft room floor, so I'll drop a marker and but that takes
The netted one? Yeah, you could.
And
Yeah.
food doesn't stick, so it doesn't stink, and it's better than the scrubbing.
I know so much.
Do you have a high efficiency washer?
Nostalgia.
Yeah, so I wash it with like sheets, not towels, but like you could do, because the towels will create lint and the microfiber grabs onto that. But you could do it with a load of sheets if you wanted to do a larger load, all your Norwex and your sheets together, yeah. Okay, the next and last giveaway is gonna go to a volunteer. Do you guys remember who was it we were talking, that took her eye makeup off?
Oh,
at your party?
Liz.
Liz. I was thinking Nicole, I could see her face.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Is that the chicken one?
no.
That's great.
If I can get anybody to lick chicken with me, you've got to like join my team and sell, right? So this is our body cloth, and it's not part of the package that I talked about. It's like easy button plus 1 or 2, okay? Because you can't just have a favorite. So this is our body cloth. It's the EnviroCloth, but for the skin. So the same microfiber with silver, but it's woven more loose because you don't want to strip all of the oil off your face, right? You want to leave some. But a lot of the soaps and cleaners and makeup removers actually really mess with your pH, have a lot of chemicals in them. So if you have eczema or sensitive skin or acne, this one is really great if you know somebody that struggles with acne because it's going to clean the surface. It exfoliates, but it doesn't strip. You're going to use this one just a little bit more moist, but it takes off waterproof mascara, all of your makeup. It makes your skin feel amazing, but not too dry. And then you just rinse it out, hang it to dry, it self-purifies, and then once a week, you're going to launder it. So, do I have a taker that wants to
Try
clean
it.
it?
You
Like,
have
I
to
have
clean
a
your face
boatload of
off
makeup
right
on, you
now.
can take it off me.
Yeah.
So in the bathroom, just warm water, and then just wipe it, and then report back. So,
Okay,
And the-
before,
yeah.
Okay. Well, and the thing about, because Charlie couldn't be here tonight, so
Yeah.
most of you know Charlie Green is,
She's a makeup artist,
world
a
renowned
celebrity makeup artist.
And she,
She's coming back to the library
she
Sunday.
messaged
Don't know
me
when.
back and she said, I'm in Mexico, but she said, I love the facial cloths because, you know what, I mean, you're using products on people, and so the cross-contamination, the germs, and Stacy knows that, and she said, I love the cleaning cloths. And so I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, she's doing people like Martha Stewart and,
All those Victoria's Secrets.
yeah. And so she, you know,
She came in
she
December.
can't
We
have
did like a
some pink
celebrity
eye going
glam
from one
look,
person to
so
the
New
next. I
Year's
mean,
Eve.
sorry.
I'll probably have her
So,
back in early fall.
It's also not just for faces. I use it head to toe.
Yeah.
In the shower, I haven't used soap for years. I mean, like 5 years. This was one that was too much of a.
Wait. You
I
make
know.
chicken and you don't use soap.
Will you be my friend?
This is a real woman.
I'm germaphobe, so like this
Here
is
was
really
no,
intriguing.
but it works better than anything you've ever seen. Okay, here was my moment, and this is what is going to convince you. So that was my first reaction to like what, like I live in Phoenix, like gross, but it's the best crevice cleaner, like in the summertime, whatever. Soaps actually mess with your pH all over, so Ladytown, this is actually the best one. You can have a separate one for that if you want to, but here's the deal. Okay, so I think it was my littlest. Yeah, I think it was the littlest. I don't remember. There's too many of them. Okay, so she was supposed to be sleeping. She starts screaming, so I run upstairs, and you could smell all the way at the end of the hall what you were about to walk into, like mother's nightmare. Okay, so they told me when you have your own kids, like their boogers and their saliva and their food won't mess
It's a
with
lie.
you, like
It's a lie.
liars.
Just like Nicole said, when you have that baby and they put it in your arms, don't forget the pain.
Yes,
Hell no.
liars. Liars. Okay. So I'm like, oh my gosh, who can I call to come? Like, please don't be on the walls, you know, whatever. And so I strip her down, like wipe her off as much as I can, put her in the bath. I paid $10 for soap that was that big, like pure as you can get, whatever. Give her a bath, let her run around naked for a little bit, and I go to put a diaper on her, and she smells like diarrhea. And I'm like, what in the, and what? And I loved the cloth for my face because it makes your skin feel clean. What do you think? Feels so good. Feels so good. It's like you get a facial when you do it. And so
it's amazing.
I had it by my sink, so I get it wet and I think, well, if anything's gonna work, it's gonna be this. And so I clean her, all her little nooks and crannies, and I smell her, and the smell is gone. And I'm like, that's cool, but my cloth is gonna smell like. And I smell the cloth, and there's no smell. And I was like, holy cow, this stuff works better than anything. And so, I mean, no soap, lots of people, we save a lot of money by using Norwex. So
I have to say that was my biggest when she told us that, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna try it. And there's the bath towels too, but the washcloth, I'm like, no, we do body soap. Or, you know, body scrunching, your little fluffy thing, and you do that. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna give it a shot. but I'm telling you what, you can't feel cleaner after you wipe. I mean, and it's kind of like skids your body. It's not like it's like all nice and foamy. I mean, you really do feel like you're cleaning it, but you feel so good after.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question.
So,
So say you got deodorant on,
Mhm.
isn't that gonna gum up your cloth? Like if you're not using soap?
But, I mean, by the time you shower, usually your deodorant is wearing off
Yeah, for
throughout
sure.
the day. But you rinse out your cloth really well. So you're gonna
Okay.
turn on your hot water when you're
Okay.
done using it. You're gonna like rub it between your hands. They come in a pack of 3, so you might use more than one throughout the week. Or you can keep like a salt shaker with a little bit of detergent in your bathroom, and then just plug up the sink. You know, sprinkle just a tiny bit in, and like do a midweek wash if you need
So
to.
is are we talking about 2 different cloths, or that one she just washed her face with is body cloth?
That's the body cloth.
And it comes
I shouldn't have picked a gray one because
But the
that does
body
get
cloth is for
confusing.
face?
Yeah, the body cloth is for the face, so it comes in like I don't know 6 or 7 different colors.
Okay.
Do they
So-
have, because Charlie was saying hers were like.
She probably has the makeup remover cloths.
Makeup
Oh,
Yeah.
what's the difference?
Okay, so
That's what I'm confused about.
There,
yeah.
okay.
Can I borrow?
they're just
No,
smaller.
again.
It's by
Yep.
size, really.
Oh, is
Well, so they're
So
different
much.
textures though too. So and different
I think I
sizes.
have the makeup.
So the body cloth is the one behind the periwinkle one it's more of like a micro suede, and so it's great for like the thin area under your eyes. It will also remove like waterproof mascara, but it's not quite as big, so it's just for the face. It doesn't exfoliate, so it doesn't give you that like
So more sensitive
wonderful,
skin, maybe.
yeah, sensitive skin. So I actually use the body cloth in the shower, and then in the morning, because I take my showers I take my showers in the morning. So then at night, I'll just use this if I haven't worn makeup or whatever to remove the oil. So it's personal preference, but I say start with that one because that one's like the most loved, the more versatile one.
Yeah.
It does make you feel good though. Doesn't it like you
Oh,
totally
yeah.
feel clean,
Feels
right?
right, clean.
Well, just think how your body feels when you use that
I
as
know,
your.
it's hard
I
to
know.
imagine that I didn't use
I'm
any
telling
soap.
you.
Do you know what page that's on by chance?
Yeah, you just got to it right there. On this side, just like 23. The body pack, because they come in a set of 3. Okay, so one more thing, and then I'll tell you how to fill out your order forms. Is anybody like me and like I want everything in the catalog, whatever? Okay, Rachel, come on up here real quick just to help me out. Okay, so Norwex is super generous. I'm gonna keep this by me at checkout, but we've chosen this model not just for the education, but we choose to use all of our marketing and advertising dollars, giving free product to our hostesses and consultants, because if you use it, you love it, you tell people about it, just like the best restaurant or greatest book that you've read. And so we want you to use it so that you have your own story to tell. So the package changes every month. This month it just so happens to be that Lena is gonna get the mop for free with the brush. And then all of these cloths. So this is a kitchen cloth. Can you hold out your hands real quick for me? 2 window cloths, so you can have a set for each bathroom.
Just hold your hands out.
Come on, babe.
She wants to keep that one. She's like, 5-second rule. 2 Enviro cloths, a half a bag of laundry detergent, so much she can't even hold it. Now grab that mop and the rubber brush. No, I'm just kidding. And then on top of all that, we give you a percentage to spend on whatever you want. So whatever your wish list is, if it wasn't part of your month's package, then you get free Norwex dollars, and then you tell me what you want and we buy it for you. So I would say on average, our hostesses earn $200 to $300. Do you remember what you?
I got a ton.
Yeah.
I think Brianna was remembering when she did her party with $500 worth. I mean, you can earn a lot of stuff, put Norwex in every room or whatever. So if you are interested in having me over with some family and friends, I can put you on my calendar and then you can be the recipient. Vanna turned recipient. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good job, Rachel.
We'll give Rachel a little makeup remover cloth.
Is that the facial cloth? Nice.
Okay, so
Nice.
I like that.
would you mind taking one down and moving it around? I'm gonna borrow yours real quick. So I bookmark your your catalog with your order form to the Safe Haven package right here on page 4. So it's the 5 main products that I talked about. If you buy it together as a package, it saves you $13, just like with Cox, when you bundle, you save money. So that's the easy button, and then you can add anything else that you want on it. And I actually just so happen to have a package right here, so the first person to get it gets to take theirs home tonight, and then I'll order yours and send it to me. We get to do a trade, but you don't have to wait a week for your product. So if you're the first one to do that, you get a little bonus there.
Oh, you know what? One thing I do have to say on other products, if you're thinking, like that cleaning paste that she was talking about, do you guys still have the silver?
Yeah, the little
Smarties?
Sperry sponges. When you said kitchen top, I was like, oh, I should have put that out.
You know what? And I didn't think about that, but because that's one of the things I have to order.
Yes.
Because it's taken me 2 years to get through it. But,
Yeah.
so 2 years in, I have to get one of these guys.
So the cleaning paste can work with your EnviroCloth or this little sponge. It does not have any silver in it, although it is the color silver, and it feels like a dinosaur, but it doesn't scratch things. Like, so I've used it on like a wood dresser that had nail polish that was literally like 20 years old, and the cleaning paste and Sperry sponge got it off and didn't damage the surface. The hostess was like, well, it's ruined anyway, so give it a try, and she was blown away. So they come in a package of 2. Glass top stoves is the most common, or like really hard buildup. This works stronger than the EnviroCloth.
So is this like Melaleuca that you have to become a member?
Nope.
And have a member?
You can buy tonight and never talk to me again, but that would break my heart.
And then if I
Girl,
wanted
you're
to
gonna be
order-
ready for the next party.
Yeah, you gotta be ready.
After
One
tonight,
thing-
if I wanted to order, then how would I do that?
So you would just contact me. So you're gonna go home. My information is on the back of your catalog, and then
Okay.
where's the extras? I don't know. Jen, can I borrow that?
You're
Oh my gosh.
from
Okay.
some-
So I highlighted all the information that you need to fill out for your order, and then down here at the bottom, I also highlighted these 2 questions. And there's a little 1 to 10 to remind you, and if it looks like a child did it, it did. Because my 11-year-old is my other assistant, and so she does all this for me. So if you want to host a party or join my team and do what I do, you don't have to do it as a full-time job. You can do it part-time job, or you can just do it to get the discount if you want. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you're interested in either one of those, then let me know and I'll get you more information about that. Or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say, because if somebody has a party in 3 months, like
Yes.
Jen and I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that I invited my mom, who actually had
She
a
did a
party.
party,
So
yeah.
she came to my party, had a party, and then when I text her, I was like, "Hey, you want to come to another party?" She's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't. I have choir tonight." I'm like, "Mom, church, come on."
Priorities.
Yeah, so she texted me her list. Buy me all of this. So it really does work. Yes, it really. I mean, yeah.
So most likely, we'll get together, once every couple months or whatever. It's like a family reunion. If you need anything in between, just call me, text me, email me. I'll get your order in. I'll credit a hostess within the circle if I have one, or just another party that I have open, and I'll give somebody credit and ship it right to you. And all of your orders will go directly to you.
So the basic package, which is the purple and the gray cloth.
Yes.
Yes,
The
just the 2.
Enviro cloth is the gray one,
Uh-huh.
and the window cloth is the
Your
pink
dry
one,
one.
but
Mhm.
it's not just for windows, right?
Correct, it's for-
everything.
Yeah, so you don't
Why do
you
they call
don't
it a
need to.
window cloth?
It used to be called the polished cloth, and they call it
Should
the
be
window
a
cloth. It is
follow-up
limiting. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But you can turn it off. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay.